again. It's a red skin.
Okay guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be hopefully decluttering my high-end makeup drawer. These are my high-end eyeshadow palettes, just my eyeshadow palettes, and here are these are all my single shadow sticks, shadow pots, glitter pots, super shock shadows from ColourPop, liquid glitters, liquid shimmers, all that kind of stuff is over here. We're going to do that separately in a different video, but today we're going to focus on my palettes. So I'm going to go ahead and this is not going to work. My last declutter, I just did it in the drawer and I kind of pulled them out, but obviously it has gotten a lot worse than that now, so I cannot do that. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull everything out, and then we're going to sit down on the floor and I'm going to go over every single one of these with you guys, so, and then kind of pick and choose from that point. Okay, so these are all my high-end palettes kind of stacked on outside my drawer. I feel like they look like a little bit less now. They're all kind of spread out, but I'm going to organize them just a little bit more. This is just the stacks that I kind of created as I was pulling them out, but I want to organize them by brand. So I will be right back. I'll go ahead and show you me organizing, but I'm going to go ahead and speed through this quick process because there's really nothing to this. Okay, so here we are, and I kind of stacked everything within its brands. Oh, except this one. I don't know why I did that. Oops. I'm so terrible at this, guys. That doesn't go there. I think I started there and I forgot to go back to that one. Oh, and this one. There's a straggler. And then this can go over here, I guess. I don't know. Technically goes in this stack as well. Let's just put it there for right now. Okay, so now we're ready to begin. So they're all organized by brand except these two stacks, this little one and this little one. These two are just, I only have one of each brand. So obviously I'm not decluttering, or I'm sorry, I'm not going to put it in a stack if I don't have more than one eyeshadow palette of those. So yeah, everything else I only have like maybe two of a few of them, three, you know, four of some. You know, the ones you can obviously tell I have a huge stack of is the ABH, the original formula by Anastasia Beverly Hills. Just one of my favorite formulas. I think one of the second brands I have the most of is Urban Decay and Huda Beauty. I really didn't think I had that many Huda Beauty brands, but they've quickly become, in 2020, one of my favorite brands. So eyeshadow brands. So honestly, I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised. So we're gonna go ahead and jump on in. I'm really interested to tell you guys about these Lorac ones. I know in my last declutter, I decluttered all of my other Lorac palettes except this one. And I've recently purchased these, and Lorac recently reformulated their eyeshadow formula, I believe, because I love their new formula. These minis are amazing. They're super pigmented. I haven't used this one in particular, but I've used this one, and they're all of the same line. So I'm assuming, actually I probably shouldn't assume, but I'm assuming they're all the same, really pigmented and nice formula. So I really hope they're all super pigmented like this one. This one's a little more light and sheer. This is sparkling. My favorite is shimmering. And then I also picked up, I don't know why I didn't open this one. This one I haven't opened yet. I haven't used. But, oops, I can't open stuff. I don't know, the color story was just a nice neutral palette. Throw that away. This is Soleil. Oops, and of course it's covered. Great. I love when they do this, not. Why is it so hard for brands just to put the names by the freaking shades? Why do they have to do all this extra crap? I'm like ruining the palette trying to get this thing off. Okay, here we go. I don't care about that. This is what that palette looks like. I'm so sorry it took me so long to get that off, but it's just a nice warm toned eyeshadow palette. Yes, I haven't used this one, but if it's anything like shimmering, which it came in the same collection, which is really, really good. You guys can tell this is a newer palette, and look how much use I've gotten out of it. I love it. If it's anything like that formula, I'm gonna love it. It's gonna be really good. Half the palette is matte, half of it is shimmers. I do prefer more mattes than shimmers, but I'm not going to complain. I love this formula. So I'm keeping all of these clearly. And then this is an older palette. I got it last year. Or I got it, I think, early 2020. Like in those first few months before COVID struck our lives. And I do really love this one as well. You guys can tell I've gotten some good use out of that one as well. You know, I would like to get more use out of it, of course. But that's why we're here today and kind of going through my declutter to hopefully reduce this. I'm kind of seeing, and I feel like I'm going to have a hard time. This is going to be a difficult one. I'm going to try and just go with things I know I can declutter. Oh gosh. Oh my god. Let me go through my Natasha Denona ones. I'm not sure about keeping all of these. I think I just want to keep these two. These are the Natasha Denona Mini Nude, Mini Sunset, and then this is the Mini Lila palette. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the Lila palette. I haven't used this one at all, so I think it's time for me to get rid of it. I kind of want to switch one of these eyeshadows, which you can do. you can switch eyeshadows. So I think I might switch it at this cool or neutral tone with that one, and that would be, I think, a really nice. I'm not going to use that berry tone, and I think the berry tone would actually go better with these eyeshadows. So I don't know. I might mix it up. Just give it to a family member. I'm going to actually do that. I'm going to take that out and give it to a relative. So I'm going to fix that. So why not? This is kind of what I did with this eyeshadow palette. I got this from BoxyCharm. I don't have BoxyCharm. I bought it from Macari online. It is the Peak palette by Natasha Denona. These two shades right here I stole from my Tropics palette right here. This is what that looks like. It's just a really colorful, beautiful palette. This shade and, oh crap, I can't remember. This shade and Fake Tan. So these two shades, this really orangey and pale color, came in this palette. And I switched out these two colors. These two neutral shades were in this palette, and I switched them out just to make a more universal palette for myself and a more compact form, obviously. So if you don't recognize this palette, that's why. It's my own custom made situation. Okay, I wanted to go ahead and switch out that one shade from the Lila palette, but I guess you can't. They aren't like the other ones that, oh, I'm digging my finger into it, where you can poke them out. They have the little holes. These don't have any holes to poke them out with. So I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of the Lila palette and make sure I keep that, even though I'm never going to use that berry toned. It's not my taste. But I'm going to keep all that and the Natasha Denona Tropics palette. I thought I would mention this. I haven't used this yet. I've been trying to film a video with this for my first impressions, and I've just been forgetting and forgetting, and I just have other things I want to try first, or like a full face of makeup and stuff like that. So it's kind of been put on the back burner, but I am super excited to use this soon, and obviously it's a part of my collection, and I am obviously keeping that one as well. So I just wanted to bring that one into the picture since I forgot about it. I'm not doing really well. I have all of them. Okay, one thing I'm gonna declutter is one of these. I have these little glitter palettes. I guess I could have put them in my single eyeshadows, but technically they're palettes, so I think I'm gonna get rid of this one. That's why I kept it in the packaging. I got this one a while back from, I want to say it was a Trend Mood box. I don't remember where I got this. I know I got this one from a Trend Mood box along with the, oh, that should be over there. Along with this other palette, the Side by Side Nude palette. But this one, I'm pretty sure I got from a different one months earlier. And I'm just not crazy about it. They're just not colors I would use. So I'm going to go ahead and declutter that one as well. Finally, I've got a couple of declutters. Let's just go into this pile, the KKW. This is the original KKW and Mario eyeshadow palette. I love this one. This is the KKW Classic Blossom. I've only used this shade, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and declutter it. Can I depot these? I can. Ooh, nice. I was a little aggressive. I didn't need to go like that with it, but sometimes you need to be aggressive. Don't do as aggressive as I did. I can just easily go online to make sure to put these back in order. I just wanted to see if I could like personalize a palette, which I think I might do actually. And this is the Classic Blossom. And then I also have the second Makeup by Mario palette. I don't know if I should just combine these and kind of make a personal, like, customized palette, because I'm not going to use this purple. I'm not going to use that blue. I would love to have this a beauty champagne color. This Don't Move shade looks really nice. It's Glam King. I don't know. I don't need this pale shade right here, I don't think. I don't need both of these. I don't know. I think I'm going to swatch these and kind of reduce it down to one palette and just have one like KKW and Mario palette instead of having both. Just because, I don't know, I don't need all of these. I feel like I hate doing that though. I hate separating palettes and customizing them when I can, because then I can't really sell the other one. I like to be able to sell these and kind of make a little bit of my money back. Not as a business, but just so my loss isn't a huge loss. And if I tear these palettes apart or separate them, it's going to be hard to find somebody who wants an incomplete sort of mixed up palette of theirs. So I'm going to do that for my own personal use, because any other way these won't get used anymore. So I'm going to combine those and get rid of one. I just need to. This is the NARS Voyager Nectar palette. I freaking love this palette. I feel like this one people hate, and I don't know why. I love this palette. It reminds me of this Lorac one though that I just got. Very, very similar. This one's a little more cooler and more neutral. This one's definitely more corally and like peachy nectar. But the looks I get out of them are really, really similar. This one's just a little more peachy. But I honestly, the formula, the matte formula especially, reminds me of each other. I love it. It's a little more powdery, super pigmented, but easy to work with. But I've seen a lot of people talk negatively about this one. I love this palette Nectar. I think it's so, so good. The other one I have, this is the Afterglow palette. I have not gotten a chance to use this. I used it once, I think, but I do want to continue to play with it. It's definitely not as good as the Nectar. I tried this one first. This is the first ever NARS palette that I tried, eyeshadow palette, and I loved it. So I went ahead and I went on Mercari and I saw this one at Sephora and I really, really wanted it. And then I think people in BoxyCharm got it or something like that. So I knew I would see a bunch of them on Mercari later, and sure enough, they were on Mercari. So I went ahead and bought it for like half off, and the formula just doesn't seem the same. It's not as good. I want to keep playing with it just because it was kind of expensive, even if I did get it half off. I got it for like $30. But I still want to, play around and get a chance to work with it. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Easy Eye Darling palette, I think is what it's called. Just looks like this. Just a very nice pinky neutral palette. I like it. I don't understand the hype of Charlotte Tilbury, but it is what it is. I saw this one go on sale like a week after I bought this one. So I went ahead and bought this one as well. I have not gotten a chance to play with this one. It looks just equally as beautiful, just neutrals. I'm probably never going to use these berries. I probably shouldn't have bought it. I'm probably going to stick around these, and even these seem a little light for me. I'm probably going to stick in this middle area just because this seemed a little light, but I might still be able to use these as a brightening inner corner shade. But the packaging is really, really nice. It is quite the experience. Okay, Too Faced. I'm not doing really well. Only decluttered 3 palettes. This is the Too Faced. Oh, this smells so good. Razzle Dazzle Berry Eyeshadow. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. Oh, I really want to keep it. I'm never going to use these colors. I've never used these colors. I'm going to keep it just because it looks like a really beautiful berry tone. I really want to get into more purpley and more colorful looks. This is the Too Faced Sparkling Pineapple. This is what it looks like. I think it looks really, really pretty. I haven't gotten a chance to try this. I've had it for such a long time now. I actually bought this one before I bought the berry one, and I haven't tried it either. But I used to love Too Faced's formula, and I just want to get into it again and just give it a chance. I just have so many other ones, and I'm constantly buying more. So I just bought this one like 2 months ago, and I haven't been able to try it, So especially during COVID with everything, I just haven't been wearing makeup. But I do really want to get into some of these. Okay, this is the Signature palette by Lorac 91. This is a collab palette by Lorac. She's here on YouTube, and she made this really beautiful palette with Ofra, and they want to keep it for like these shades and the green shade. I mean, this one works. This is a highlighter shade. This is Blissful. It works really nice for inner corner highlight, and that's why she put it in here. I don't know why she put the yellow in here. I think I don't know. I feel like so many other shades would have been better with this palette and this color story other than this yellow. I feel like this yellow really like scares me. If you like cover that up, I feel like it makes a much better palette if something else a little more neutral or a little more brightening. I don't know. I feel like she could have done a little bit better with that one, but I think she just didn't want to do another neutral eyeshadow. This Smashbox, this one's been saved and saved and saved. I'm gonna get rid of it. I feel like the packaging just throws me off. Like, I don't know what this is until I open it. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. But it's like, I can't, what is this? This is so weird. Like, I can't put two and two together. Like, that's that. I would almost prefer clear packaging instead of this or anything else. Anything more simple, whatever. Just so I can remember that this is in here. Because that just, throws me off completely. Okay, this Sephora Sequin palette. I thought this was really cute. Super cute. It was super cheap. It was on clearance. And then I never used it, so. Yeah, I stopped buying stuff on clearance. This is Aether Beauty. I don't know how to say, there's an accent over the A. But it's supposed to be a clean beauty, like super, I don't want to, what do you say, green? I don't want to say green, but like, I don't know, I'm spacing on the word, what they call that, like renewable resource, like, I don't know that word, my brain is spacing, but like the self-sufficient, I don't know what the word is, my brain is just having a fit, but anyways, yes, they're good for the environment. So I want to try that one. I just haven't gotten around to it. It was on clearance at Sephora. I just want to kind of develop an opinion on clean beauty or whatever, environmentally friendly packaging, whatever. I don't know what it's called. This is the Patrick Star Glam AF. This is what that looks like. It's just such a really beautiful, simple palette. I want to keep this just because I want to keep at least one palette of MAC's formula. I don't have any other MAC palettes. This is the Norvina Mini Pro palette number 1. I don't think I have anything ridiculously pigmented like this. Even my colorful palettes aren't as colorful as this one, so I do want to keep it for that reason. But I don't know how long it'll survive. I am planning on doing these declutters every 6 months from now on until I change that. But yeah. Ooh, this Bobbi Brown one. Oh my gosh, that looks so beautiful. Why have I never, I've never used this. Wow, oh yeah, that looks so beautiful, guys. Wow. Okay, I want to put this on my vanity to make sure I get some use out of this because this is so pretty. I think every time I do declutter, I realize I have this and I forget about it again and then never use it again. This is the, I wanted to say Catrice, but it's not Catrice. Oh, it's Ciate London. And it's like a very mauve purple palette. I don't have a lot of these palettes kind of high end, so I kind of want to give it a shot. These are really iridescent looking. No, never mind. I'm gonna declutter that one. The glitters are a little lackluster. They just weren't really anything special, so I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of it. I did sign up for BoxyCharm this year, so hopefully I'll be doing those reviews for you guys. But they did another Ciate palette, and I'm like, I really hope I don't get it. I really hope. This is the Artist Couture Supreme Nudes, and it's just that. They're just Supreme Nudes. They're amazing, incredible. I love this palette. I am keeping that for sure. This is the Tarte Beauty Volume 1 palette. I don't know what the heck is going on with her brand, but there's a lot of lawsuits going on, and I don't feel sorry for her, honestly, though. This palette, I love it. It's great. I'm keeping it. I mean, I have to be honest. It is a good palette, even if her world seems to be crumbling or whatever. This is the Violet Voss Like a Boss. It's funny. I didn't even realize that it rhymed. Violet Voss Like a Boss. Okay. I love this palette. I'm keeping it. It's such a nice neutral palette. This is the Glamlight Ice Cream Dream. I don't have a lot of high-end colorful palettes. Like I said, I only have the Norvina one, and a few of my Huda Beauty ones are colorful, but I really don't have a lot of them. Not like super pastel-y like this. I would like to have options, so I'm going to go ahead and keep this one. And I don't have any other Glam Light palettes, so I do want to keep that one as well. Whew, I'm doing a really bad job with my, my high-end declutter. Yeah, and I'm going to do really bad on these too. This is my Pure and Raw Beauty Christie palette. This is the colorful side. I have not used other than the shimmer. Oh, and this yellow, actually. Oh, I did use the red. And okay, never mind, I lied. And then this is the side I've used a lot more. The neutral side. I do love this palette. It's a really, really nice palette. I wish they would have sold it separately. I guess I really didn't need this side. I really tried to do a colorful shadow look. That's why I did use this side. I forced myself to do a colorful look. But I much rather have the neutral side. Oh, and one thing. Pure has an incredible formula. I don't know why more people don't talk about them. So these released, I want to say in January or late December. I don't remember. But this is my favorite palette from them. This is the Pure and Trolls World Tour in Classical. So what this looks like, it's so beautiful. I love it. I'm obsessed. It's such a beautiful neutral warm palette. And then I saw this, like, I want to say a couple of weeks ago at TJ Maxx for $7. So I bought it. This one is in Country Western. So if you can find these palettes at TJ Maxx for $7 or less, yeah, I totally recommend you guys pick it up because they're really, really good. They had really nice colorful ones as well. I obviously didn't try any of those. I'm super, like, as you can tell, I'm a neutral gal. So I'm not really crazy about color. So I did not pick up any of those. But, I mean, if I see a cute colorful one, I might pick it up if I see one. Okay, this is the Dominique Cosmetics Latte palette. I am obsessed with this palette. I love the neutrals in here. I could do without this row. I do sometimes use these. But I mostly just use the mattes in here. And especially Caramel. It's a dupe for Burnt Orange in Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Glam. This is my favorite shade of all time. It's like my favorite neutral eyeshadow, or I'm sorry, transition shade for me. Like a warm transition shade. It's perfect for me. And Caramel is a dupe for that. So I've used the heck out of it. There's like a giant crevice in there. I've almost hit pan, and these pans are huge, so I'd rather use this one than use my burnt orange in that one. So obviously I'm keeping that one if it wasn't clear. This is my Latte 2 by Dominique Cosmetics. Just a very pretty shadow. I haven't used this one as much, nearly as much. I think I just used it once. I would like to get into it more. I want to see if I can maybe, no. I was going to try and see if I can pop these out, but they didn't pop out. Maybe they're glued in there. I would probably make like my own neutral palette if I could out of these, because I do love the mattes and the more neutral shades like this one and this one, but I could do without that one. I could do without this iced coffee shade. I can do without these 3 colorful shades over here. So I don't know. I wish I could depot them, but for now I'll just keep them. Because I have a hard time parting away with makeup. These Sigma palettes, I only have 2 Sigma palettes. I kind of wanted to get the warm neutrals one, but I didn't. This is the Holiday. They had this last year. The Rendezvous eyeshadow palette. It's a really cute neutral eyeshadow palette. I love it. It's very cute and compact. And this is the Sigma Cora de Rosa. It's a really pretty warm tone with pinks and berry tones. Just a very, very nice collection of, I'm sorry, color story. Very well put together. That's about as pinky and berry as I will get. I do have a dupe for that. It is the Sweet Talk palette by ColourPop, but I do want the Cora de Rosa one as well. In this back corner, I have these Too Faced palettes. Did I not have? Oh, I did have. I forgot these are the same brand. What am I doing? Okay, these are the Too Faced palettes. This is Chocolate Gold, a palette I've never used in my entire life, but I hear it has really nice shimmers. So I want to keep it for that reason, even though I've never used it. This is the Gingerbread Extra Spicy. This is the one that came out in 2019. So they had one come out in 2018, one in 2019, and the pumpkin spice one in 2020. This is the 2019 version, Gingerbread Extra Spicy. This one is my favorite. This was my favorite color story. This is the only one I bought from those limited edition collections. I dipped my nose in one of the shades. It smells really, really nice. I'm going to keep it. I love this one. And this is the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. This was gifted to me for Christmas. My friend asked me which makeup palette I wanted, or which one I was dying to have, and it was this one. This was the Sweet Peach. I think this one came out in 2017, and 2016 or 2017. And I think it originally came out in 2016, and my friend bought it to me in 2017. I think this was the holiday release for 2017. So that's what she bought me. So actually, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this one. I'm just not going to use it. I have a lot of shimmers. I shouldn't just keep a palette for the shimmers. I've had it for like 2 years now, and I have never used it. So I think that should be sign enough that I'm never going to use it. Let's go to Tarte right now. I skipped over my Huda because I'm going to keep all those, but I'll show them to you guys. This is the Tarte BoxyCharm, whatever, BU Naturally. It came broken. I reported it. They gave me some money back, but not all my money back. I kind of liked it. I thought I wanted to keep it, but I think I'm going to go ahead and declutter it. It's just a nice neutral eyeshadow palette, but that's about it. There's nothing else to it. This is my Tarte Toasted palette. So pretty. I love this. This was my favorite palette for like 4 months at one point. I do love the color story. I mean, I could easily get back into this palette and be happy. This is the Tartelette in a Bloom. I feel like I heard so many people talk, like, rave about this palette. And in my opinion, it's just okay. And part of me wants to keep it, but I'm going to go ahead and declutter it. I have a sister-in-law that I think would get a ton of use out of this one. So I'm going to go ahead and give it away to her instead. I haven't been decluttering enough, so I just made the executive decision to do that. And this is the Adeline Morin Tarte palette. It has a lot of warm tone shades, a blush, and a highlight that is way too light for me. But it looks so, so pretty. I'm going to go ahead and give this to a girlfriend of mine that I think would really, really enjoy this. I'm just not getting enough use out of it, so I think she would enjoy it more. And then I'm just going to keep those two. Oh, that's Tarte. My button. I'm just going to keep that one. It's my favorite one from them, so that makes sense. I just haven't been reaching for them enough. So these, I'm just going to show them to you because I'm going to keep all of them because they're my favorite. This is the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde. It's just a beautiful, like, subdued, colorful palette. Yeah, you got a couple of brights, but they're mostly subdued and really wearable and pretty. Her shimmers are really nice. These weren't my favorite shimmers, but they were nice, so I'm going to keep it for that. These are, I'm going to keep the one I haven't used last. This is the Huda Beauty Khaki Haze. This is my single most favorite eyeshadow palette from 2020 that released in 2020. It is my favorite palette. It's so, so beautiful. The color story is unique, and the mattes are great. The shimmers are great. My favorite palette, honestly. It's just so, so good. I really enjoyed these in the past. These are the Huda Beauty Neon Obsessions. This is, I think, orange. They're not named. Okay, yeah, orange. Obviously it is orange, but I just wanted to make sure. Neon orange. It's so, so pretty. I've only used a couple of the shadows in this one, but when I want to do a colorful look, these are kind of the ones I lean towards. Oh, this one's so beautiful. This is the, just the pink neon. I don't know what she named them. It's not on here anywhere. They all can't be neon. But yeah, this one's really, really pretty. I do really like this one as well. This one is the green, neon green. And that's what that one looks like. I do enjoy these on occasion. Now this one I haven't tried. This is the Nude Medium. That is what that looks like. So, so beautiful. I haven't got a chance to use it though, but I really want to, so. Guys, I'm not doing very well. What am I gonna do? Oof, the palette. Oh gosh, this sack. Oh gosh, this is problematic. So, I have a personal beef with Viseart. Viseart, I think, makes some of the worst high-end eyeshadow palettes, and I'm so confused of why people like them. For that reason, though, I'm going to keep this and keep trying it. I tried it like twice already, and I was super, super disappointed. They honestly remind me of like LA Colors at Dollar Tree. I cannot get these shadows to show up on my skin tone. They just don't show up. They're very blah. Like, ColourPop makes better shadows than this. Like, don't waste your money. I said it. Don't waste your money. Don't. I'm keeping that, and then hopefully I'll make... I think one of my first videos is going on a rant about this. You guys check it out. This is the Melt Gemini palette. This is Melt Cosmetics. I think this color story is so, so beautiful. I love the neutrals in here. I love the greens. I have not gotten to use it just because I don't know, when I think greens like this, I like using my Khaki Haze just because I know the formula. I have not tried Melt, so I'm kind of skeptical to go in there, but I do want to keep this and I do want to try it out, obviously. That's why I bought it. I just need to build up the courage. This is the Weva, the Caramel Melange. I don't know what melange means, but I just heard really good things about this brand. I got it half off at Ulta. I just haven't gotten a chance to trying it, but I do want to try their formula. I've just heard really, really good things about them. This is the Kylie Jenner, I want to say this is the bronze palette, and that is what that looks like. I think I'm going to go ahead and get rid of it. It's cute. It's just, I think I have this 20 times over in this collection, and it's not my favorite formula, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of it. And then this is the Lorac Cat's Pajamas. I did really love this for a short while. But I recently picked up, I recently picked up her new Nudie Patootie 2. In my last declutter, I got rid of her Nudie Patootie, but I got her Nudie Patootie 2. And honestly, oh gosh, this looks so cute. I think this one seems more unique to my collection than this one. So it has a few berry tones, but this whole, like, these 4 shades seem really similar to me. And you know, there's only one berry tone like that in this one. So I'm going to keep this one. These shimmers, I already swatched them. They were kind of a letdown. So I don't know. She tried a new formula and they weren't really like, she's like, new formula is so great. And then it's really, really sheer in my opinion. There's just no depth to it. There's no base. It's just like a topper. And I don't know. I don't like toppers and palettes because if you're going to be a topper, you need to be more intense than that. That was a little lackluster for me, like in my opinion, for a topper. I'd rather have like a nice foiled shimmer or something. But anyways, oh gosh, I'm so tired. Where am I going? Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and declutter the Cat's Pajamas. Okay, my next stack. Oh my god. There's just so many. Okay, this is my Urban Decay stack. This is the Urban Decay Naked Petite Heat. I love this palette. I'm keeping it. This is the Urban Decay Aphrodisiac. Again, love it. Keeping it. This is the Urban Decay Christian Leanne. This is super, super old, but I love it, so I'm keeping it. This is the Urban Decay Heat palette. I still haven't tried this one. Why do I hold on to it? This is the Urban Decay Honey palette. Again, I haven't used this, but I did declutter my Profusion Honey palette, so I'm going to keep this one since I don't think I have these shades in any other palette now. It's kind of like a very specific tone. This is the OG Naked palette that I've never used in my whole entire life, but I actually don't have these kind of cool tones. Oh no, I did use the shade Naked, Buck and Toasted. I'm going to keep it so I have it and, you know, you can't get it anywhere. And then this is the Urban Decay Born to Run palette. One of my all-time favorite palettes. It's super old, but I love it. It's really, really nice. It performs really, really well. I love the, you know, the depth and the colorfulness, but still wearable and beautiful. So we're keeping all of those. Sorry, I just love them. Okay, these are my Persona palettes. I have talked so much poop about this palette, but it's really grown on me. This is the Persona Identity palette, the original one, and the new packaging. It's really, really grown on me. The more I wear it, the more I like it. And I don't know why, every time I put it on, I'm like, what's the big deal with this? But as the day goes on, I think these shadows just like magically look beautiful on me. I don't know how to explain it. It's just, they're actually really, really pretty, and I'm so surprised that I've actually really grown to like this palette. And then this is the Color Theory Copper palette. I really think this is a really nice companion palette. This just has a little more warm tones and these really fiery coppery tones. That this one is a little more neutral, a little more cool toned. So I can really get that warmth with this one on top of it. I wouldn't recommend getting both of them, you know, but if you know, I bought them at the same time, and I feel like together they really make a nice set. So when I use one, I usually grab the other one as well, just because I feel like they really do go well together. Keeping those. Okay, these Buxom eyeshadows. So my girlfriend, my best friend, gifted this to me because I asked her to. But these eyeshadow palettes don't, I mean, this eyeshadow doesn't actually perform very well. So I'm going to keep this one just for keepsake. But I did recently this year buy this one. This one was at Sephora, I believe. This is, oh no, I'm sorry, Ulta. This is a Bob Babe Betty. And it's just more of a warmer palette. It has only four mattes in a 12 pan. Okay, that's not, I prefer more mattes than shimmers, but it's new and I still haven't gotten a chance to try it, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep that one as well. Makeup Geek. Okay, so this is a 4-pan that I made myself. It used to be Choco. I bought it as a Choco latte palette, but then I kind of switched palettes. I bought this online and with a Choco palette, and I just made my own configuration. So these are just Makeup Geek singles and Makeup Geek singles. So I'm keeping these for now. I do like Makeup Geek's palettes, but I do believe their old formula was better. This is the Manny MUA and Makeup Geek collab. I love this palette. I wish I would get more use out of it, but at first, since it was Manny MUA, I kind of saw it as a collector's item, and then when I started using it, I kind of just like, I don't want to use it up sort of situation. But it is makeup and it should be used, you know, things shouldn't be kept just as collector items and makeup. They should really be, you know, enjoyed, in my opinion. That's kind of my stance like that. So I think I put this one over here, but I didn't show you the other two. So okay, let me show you. This is Poison Garden. Such beautiful packaging. This is a little more colorful than I would like to admit, but I want to go ahead and give myself a chance with this one. I've used more of the neutral shades in this one, but I would like to give myself a chance to play with the color. Because it does look like a really beautiful palette, and because I absolutely love this Side to Side by Nebula. It just reminds me of the Natasha Denona Biba palette, at a much more fair price, and these shimmers are really, really nice as well. All the mattes, I love a lot of mattes, and I feel like they have a fair good amount of mattes in this palette. And they blend so nice. They're super pigmented. You only need the tiniest amount. I love, love, love this palette. So for that reason, I would like to keep trying those. Wow, guys, I'm doing a terrible job. Oh no. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and declutter this one. I have enough colorful palettes. I'm gonna go ahead and declutter that one as well, because I don't know, I have too many colorful ones. Here we go. So I know earlier this year, if you guys are following my eyeshadow declutters, or no, wait, I did a specific ABH declutter. I wasn't planning on doing a declutter in that video, but after going through my favorite ABH palettes, I just felt like I had to declutter a bunch of them. So I did. I did end up decluttering a bunch, but I said I was going to declutter this one, and I didn't. So this is the Amrezy and Anastasia Beverly Hills. The reason I did not declutter this palette, even though I don't pull for these more colorful shades, this whole row of mattes right here, these are some of the most wearable, other than that purple, these are some of the more wearable shades I would use. This brown, this Gemini, this dragon, some of these I might be able to use my inner corner or kind of to do a colorful look, but I'm like, I think I might actually be able to use this, like just the mattes and stuff. So I'm like, I think I should keep it for that, because one of the things I do go through pretty fast are the ABH matte shades. So, and that's why I prefer, more mattes than shimmers in ABH formulas, because I just really go through the mattes so quickly. This is the ABH and Jackie Aina palette. Just so I'm missing a brush. Okay, that's where that one. Okay, I have some somewhere in my room, and I was like, which palettes are missing their brushes? This one. I love this palette. I love these three like neutral shades. I haven't used a lot of the shimmers. I love Zam, So Beautiful, Dwalas. I don't know. I haven't tried Lituation. I think I have tried that one. It was really pretty. Soleil is so pretty. I haven't tried like this little berry area very much, just because I'm really intimidated or trust issues. But the more neutral shades I do love, and they're super pigmented, and I have to have them. I don't care if I just use half the palette. I love it. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills and Sultry palette. I've never used this palette in my life. Wow. But I kind of want to sit down and give myself a chance with this one. So I'm going to go ahead and this is going to go on my vanity because I want to get some good use out of it. This, past few months have really been all about cool tones, and people have raved and raved and raved about cool tones. People have raved and raved and raved about this palette. I already love ABH's formula, so I know I'm going to love the performance of it. But I mean, am I going to love the looks? So I really wanted the Glam palette by Natasha Denona. But if I can't use even the ones I have, the cool tones that I already have, what's the point of me spending $65 if I already have this one for free? I don't mean I got it for free, but I already have this one and I'm not using it. So, I mean, gotta use it. So that one's gonna go on my desk after this video. I'm gonna use that one. This is the Anastasia Prism. I feel so bad for this palette because I love this palette. I don't know if you guys can see how much I used it, but I love this palette. Yeah, it has a couple of more of the intense shades, but it came out right after the whole subculture scandal. And so people were kind of wary and distrustful of ABH. But this palette I thought was incredible in her original, normal, really good formula. They tried to go for a more pigment typed formula, which I thought was a little more difficult to work with, but it wasn't a bad formula. But everyone, I think just because it was a little different and it wasn't as user-friendly as her other formulas, kind of judged it too soon. And this one came out right after that, and for that reason I think they also judged this one too soon. They were like, oh, it's going to be the same crappy formula, but it wasn't. And I did love the color story and the performance. Whew. Okay, so we're getting to the grit. This is my Anastasia Soft Glam palette. I love this. This is my favorite ABH palette. I mean, as you can tell, it's pretty used up. I'm almost gonna hit pan on burnt orange. So nice. I love this one. This is my Modern Renaissance palette by ABH. Also, one of my most used shadows. Wait, are they both burnt orange? Oh, they are burnt orange. I'm like, I love that shade in both palettes. I didn't even know that, guys. This one's burnt orange and that one's burnt orange. Like, I knew that they repeated Tempura and Dusty Rose in a lot of palettes, but I didn't know they actually named them the same thing. So I guess they do. Anyways. Oh, they do have Cypress Umber as well. Okay, so Burnt Orange, Cypress Umber, and Tempura are all repeats. I had no idea. Okay, cool. I don't mind that just because some of these shades are just staples. Like, I love the shade Burnt Orange. It is hands down one of my favorite shades of all time. And that's why I love the Dominique Cosmetics dupe Caramel, because it is just such a good shade. And this is the Master palette by Mario. Look at this. This was my first ABH purchase. Like, even before the Modern Renaissance. I think Modern Renaissance was before the Mario one. But I bought the Modern Renaissance after. And this is where I fell in love with the ABH formula. This was a collab with none other than Mario Denona. And it's just so beautiful. I fell in love with the formula, with the shade Isabel, Lula, Violeta, just some of these shimmer shades. Fifth Avenue has the biggest divot in it. I still occasionally use this, just sparingly, because it is like, I want to say like 4 or 5 years old at this point, maybe like 6 even. I don't know how old it is, but it is super duper old, and I freaking love this palette, and I'm never gonna let it go. Never, ever, never, ever, ever gonna let you go. It's just, I was wondering if I had a date on it, but it doesn't. But oh gosh, I love this palette. I can't let it go ever. So that's why I'm keeping every single one of these. Sorry, it was such a rant. But that's the deal. So, bam. Lastly, I think these are it. Okay, I know I still have my Pat McGrath ones to go through. Okay. Whew. Okay, Baked Browns by Joseph Colors. I'm keeping these. They're super nice. This is Sassy Siennas by Joseph Colors. I love these as well. Warmer burnt orange shades. And this is my Joseph Colors and Desi and Katie Francation palette. Just look at that. I have used this palette a ton, even though it does not look like it. It is one of my favorite favorite palettes of all time. When I saw this at Ulta, I literally just walked up to the shade. I don't know what shade this is. Just a Kiss, I hope. Oh no. Churro? I don't know. They're backwards. I don't know. But this, I thought this shade was so pretty in the store. And I'm like, I have to have it just for that shimmer shade. And of course, I use the other shades as well. But these shades are so super pigmented. You only need a tiny amount. And I use this shade a ton. Or this palette a ton. When my boyfriend and I were just like living together on the weekends. I say that because we lived far away from each other when we were doing long distance, and we would kind of visit each other on the weekends. I took this to his house for a year, and this is the only palette I used every single weekend. And you know, it looks brand new. None of them have like a divot. This one looks like it's barely, like, might have a tiny divot, but honestly super pigmented. You only need the tiniest amount. So I really love this palette. Now these, oh my god, Pat McGrath palettes. Okay, let's go through these. This is a mini that I don't know what it's called. It just came with a gift set, and it looks like that. I'm gonna go ahead and declutter this one. I was thinking about keeping it, but I really, if I want a look like this, I'm not going to pull this palette out because I'm not going to remember what it looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and declutter that one. This one I just got, and I kind of want to declutter it already just because online it looked way more interesting, and in person it just looks very boring in my opinion. It just looks super duper boring. So I don't know what to do, guys. I'm gonna keep it for now just because it is so new. But honestly, I don't feel like I have a usable matte in here. Like, they're just so pink and purpley, and I don't like pink and purpley shades. I don't know why I bought this, but I do like these two shades do call my name, but That pink, I think, is too pink for a transition shade. And I don't know how good it's going to look on me. And the packaging is super cheap. This one, I'm pretty sure, was the same price as these. Alright, I don't know, maybe not. But these are so much more well made. Look at this one. This one is what is this one? I don't know. Bronze Temptation, I think. I hope. Bronze Temptation, and it just looks so much more pretty in my opinion. I love that one. This one I have not gotten any use out of either, I don't think. I need to though. This is the Bronze Ambition. It looks like that. So I think I'm going to keep these more neutral ones and get some use out of, and then I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this one, because as much as I want to give this one a shot, I know I won't use it, and I haven't gotten an opportunity to use it, and somebody else will love this more for like, I don't know, I feel like if I use it, I'm going to ruin it for somebody else. I'd rather somebody else get some good use out of it, so. Okay guys, so that is it. We went through my whole collection. I have so many palettes, and I know I didn't get rid of a lot of them. I don't feel very good about. I wish I would have been able to get rid of more. Actually, I am. I'm gonna get rid of this Lorac. I already forgot how to say her name. Lorac 91 collab with Ofra Cosmetics. I'm just not going to use this palette, and I just really hope this, it was limited edition. I really hope somebody else who wants this will use it. So, I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and declutter that one. I don't want to do this, guys. This is so hard. I want to do like one more. Just one more. Okay, guys, do not come at me. So, I am keeping 72 palettes. Holy cow, that's still a lot. Still a ton of palettes. What am I doing? That is all of my high-end palettes. It's way too many. Okay guys, and so here is my drawer now with everything put back. It's still kind of tight. There's like there's like room for one palette here maybe. Very, very tight. I had to kind of overboard here on the side, little gaps. Whew, it's really, really tight though. I don't know, once I declutter my single eyeshadows, maybe I can move some of these over a little bit so they're more accessible. Okay, so in summary, these are the ones I'm getting rid of. I'm not getting rid of a lot, like I said. Just a few of them, just because they just got as much use as they're going to from me, or didn't get used at all, and that kind of, I think, says enough about something. So I feel good about it. I'm happy with my decisions, my choices. I wish I would have decluttered more, but I did not. So it is what it is. I feel bad, but you know, whatever. It's just makeup. So thank you guys so much, and I hope you guys enjoyed these declutters. I don't know what I'm gonna do next, but I will keep you guys posted. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in my next one.